large room. Sam, I don't see you yet on the VTT. Maybe you need to relog.
Oh yeah, I just need to refresh.
Okay.
Um,
hmm?
completely. I was trying to remember. Did we ever kill the giant flesh warp abomination in the
I
arena?
don't think so.
That
I
behemoth.
don't think
No.
so. I think we are still waiting for a day to be all four to try.
Okay, yeah, okay. I'm hoping
Uh,
that Matt joins again soon. I know from talking with him that he's been really busy with stuff for his teaching job, and he was
Mhm.
doing finals before, and now I think he's starting a new class. But I'm hoping he'll be jumping in again in the near future. So
Great, great.
Mm-hmm.
I hope so too. I mean, can't blame him because I definitely had to skip a few weeks, but I hope that it's not going to take him that
Yes,
long.
that time of the year.
Right. Right. So we find ourselves back with our hero in this strange, large room with all of these transparent pillars, um, bright light shining down into the center of most of these pillars that are actually chambers of some kind, translucent stone, encapsulating these monstrous creatures in most of them. And then there's this one pillar here where there's no more light, and there's just this pile of ash and stuff in the on the bottom of it on the ground, and that is also where this sort of very faint greenish fiery energy seems to start to pool. It's very faint, so it's maybe even at this point only the magically inclined among you would even sense that, but it does feel like it's it is growing, even if it's just slowly growing.
would Lucca's spirit sense be able to detect that maybe like a spirit is starting to reform there?
Yeah, I think you would assume something. It's like there's no spirit there yet, but the
Mm-hmm.
spirit sense would probably make you feel like, yeah, this you're witnessing the rejuvenation ability of some spiritual being.
I I I don't think that witch fire is banished for good. Um, it lift the are the others
Are we
still
still burning?
glowing? Yeah, do they still breathe
Yep.
fire on them?
Yeah, they're still cursed.
I don't think that curse will be undone until the witch fire is banished for good, and unfortunately, it seems to be reforming right there.
Yeah, someone from the catwalk like will weakly groan like, what the hell do we have to do to it? Like, it's not like just wishing it's not enough.
Um, with
You said you said something. You said the other pillars lit up. Did anything else happen with the other pillars?
I know all the creatures still seem to be in stasis.
um with Lucca's ghost hunting knowledge and the like, would he be able to make some sort of assumption that the witch fire is kind of like a haunt, that it has to be banished or laid to rest by other means?
Well, I'll give you that as just something that you know, given that you have spirit lore, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a common thing for spirits, that they have an ability which is known as rejuvenation, and that once they're destroyed, there are certain conditions that need to actually apply for it to truly be banished from existence, and they might reform in a place that is somewhat significant to them if that condition is not fulfilled before the rejuvenation period expires. So that's something that you just know. You're welcome to try a check to kind of figure out what might be the specifics for this spirit.
Yeah, I will make a. Oh damn! There's
Oh.
ghost hunter feats you can take to improve this, but
Can I try to use the inspire competence on this check?
Yeah, I'll give you that because I would assume that it's not just trying to remember something. He's gonna like walk around and inspect that weird energy, seeing if if it's connected to something else in this room, and it'll take some time. But yeah, I'll let you use it.
yeah, okay, cool. And that gives a what is that, a +1?
I think that plus quite a bit.
Wait, so this is basically like you're trying this check as an aid, right?
Well, I encourage Lucca to remember it better, so
So when you later use aid reaction, you can
Yes.
roll performance instead of the normal skill check, and if you roll a failure, it would be a success. So this is actually. Can you critically aid? I guess is the question.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah, it guards from failure, but the rest is, I think it's just normal 8 check, so
So then this would be a critical aid,
yes.
which means you get +2.
Plus 2, yeah.
Wait, are you a master with this?
Uh,
Not yet.
Not yet, no, I'm an expert.
Okay, yeah, that's a +2.
Okay, so that is not great.
It's not great, but given that you have the critical aid, it is
That is
not-
with the aid. That's with the aid.
Oh, well, in that case, it's enough. But I'll give you that. So you kind of walk through the room and trying to use your spirit sense to figure out what is fueling this rejuvenation here. And you do get the sense that it is somewhat connected to all of the other pillars. Yeah, and that I think is all you get with this result.
So the other pillars are somehow fueling the rejuvenation.
Mm-hmm.
I assume the fact that they're glowing now means that they're helping it to rejuvenate. You said they were like, is it the pillars themselves glowing, or is there light shining on them from somewhere?
Well, it's maybe I don't want to lead you down the wrong path here. So there was a light in them this whole time, a bright light that was shining down into the center within each. It's kind of like a display case, you know.
Right.
There's this magical light that was just shining down, illuminating or dramatically illuminating the creature that is held in stasis in there.
Got it. Okay.
So yeah, guys, sorry to bother you. Thing is, we looked at that viewing room upstairs, but what about this one? Someone will point at the door that she just noticed. Yeah, because I'm thinking there has to be some sort of control room to this one, to this place, right? To put those creatures in stasis and out of it.
Maybe.
Not a bad theory. Are you okay? You have little things circulating around you. Are you bleeding or something?
Well, it's nice for you to look at to notice. I'm wreathed in cursed flames and I'm not okay, okay?
Well, obviously that, but...
It's been the second or third time that my whole life flashed before my eyes. Like, not that you would know.
He puts his knuckles on his hip bones. He says, "I beg your pardon."
Simon, could you help Ottardo down from his
Oh yes, of course.
pedestal? Thank you.
Let's see. Before we go opening doors, let me just assess my spell situation. Okay, no more 4th rank I have a few third rank spells and stuff. So okay, let's if you all are feeling up for it, let's at least test Souma's theory about control room.
Okay.
Ottardo, you're 20 feet in the air.
Okay, Ottardo, you open the door. You open the door, and you open it only like halfway, and then boom, you hit a hand that like reaches around the door frame, and you can just see the fingers of that hand, and it's weird looking because it looks like the fingers of a young child, but oversized, like a huge child's hand. You just see the fingers kind of reaching around the door as it stops it from opening fully. And then you hear a voice from deeper within that yells out annoyedly in a language. Let's double check here. That Lucca and Ottardo, you do understand it. Souma, you do not, it seems like. But you can hear the sense of annoyance. And it goes, "Who's there? Don't disturb me. I have mysteries of the universe to resolve." And then Ottardo, you feel the hand trying to push the door shut.
Ottardo will release the door and let it shut.
And clunk.
And he will turn around and point to the other doors.
What? So sorry. What language was it that he was speaking?
Aklo.
Oh, okay. I mean, mysteries of the universe. That sounded interesting, right?
That must be important if it stayed there all this time. But yeah.
Well, in case this thing is not friendly, we're in no shape to face it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's at least conversing. If you want to back off and lick our wounds a little bit, we can. But I have a feeling that if we try to patch up, by the time we come back, this
it will regenerate.
place may not be accessible to us anymore. He points back to the Witchfire's pillar.
Can we make a guess at how long it would take for the thing to reform?
That's too soon to tell. If you were to wait a couple of hours to see how fast it's happening, maybe.
Well, we can take 1 hour.
I suppose so, yeah. To at least lick our wounds with medkits and lay on hands.
If you want to risk it, I suppose.
Well, I'm completely dry on spells, but I still can get by with cantrips a little bit, and with some bandages I will be more or less in one piece, hopefully.
Very good. Then let us do so.
There's the sort of barracks we could hole up in, maybe.
Did we leave any corpses here? I don't remember.
I don't see any.
Yes, that you did fight a couple of flesh warbs here.
Oh.
So a couple of
Yeah,
Dreshkins.
we probably should drag them out before we...
Yeah, okay. So you drag them out into that what is it? Is it octagonal hallway? And then close the doors behind you. And try to ignore the smell. But yeah, you can take a rest.
But I think by this point we already desensitized to it. I mean, do you even count how many times we were like completely exploded in with gore and with Skara? You know?
Mm-hmm.
It's literally just Tuesday now.
Lucca will just kind of collapse in a pile on the ground.
Someone will follow suit.
Yeah, his bones just fall apart. I imagine that's kind of what happens when he's like, well, not unconscious, but you know, in his resting state.
Yeah.
His head just sits on top of the pile.
Yeah, Soma will treat Wilson herself to remove the wounded condition.
And if we take a full hour, Ottardo can cast lay hands on Soma 3 times if needed.
Well, I think at this point I will need only one.
Lucca will also
If it's for 24, I mean, I could try to to mend Lucca with medkits as well.
I'm in rather I'm only a little bruised. I wouldn't worry too much about me. Says his skull just sitting there on top of the pile.
Yeah, little did we know that Soma Lucca was a Cheliax in disguise this whole time.
Yes, Soma can apply this up to 3 times if needed.
And I'm whole. Thank you.
Let's see.
Alright, I will also refocus to get some focus points.
What is staff? Where did all my other wands go? The inventory, whenever I put a wand away, it keeps automatically throwing it in my backpack instead of the other containers. I don't know how to change that. So I want it to go into my sleeves.
Mm.
But I guess I didn't use any of the wands last time. I thought I would have, but none of them are ticked off. Guess I did it all with spells. Okay. Well, yeah, Lucca is he's refocused. He's like, well, are you feeling up to the task?
Yes, that's
all
good.
right.
Okay, so you rested for an hour and decide to head back out. All right.
Yeah, so Soma will summon her instrument, and I think she will try to draw the magic missile wand and put it in her mouth. To be ready.
She's like a pirate. She's just
exactly.
Oh yeah. We'll carefully poke our heads in here before we just go barging in, I imagine.
And you do see that glow in that pillar still, but it doesn't seem like it has changed at all. So it must be very slowly gathering strength.
Perhaps it takes a day or so.
Well, Lucca, do you wanna politely knock?
Yes, of course. And he will rap on the door with his knuckle bones and say, "Pardon the interruption, good sir, but it sounds as if you are a fellow academic."
God, then you hear the voice ring out again. Go away! I am planning the troop movements, just like the mistress asked. I'm doing nothing else.
The troop movements, of course.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Well, the mistress has many questions about the deployment of her troops. Such as where exactly are you planning to deploy the fleshed warp troopers?
I will give you, Revian, my full report when I'm ready, and not a minute sooner. I've told him before, and now go away and tell your master this again, if he needs to be reminded.
He says, well, that is all well and good, but Revian grows impatient, of course, in the service of the mistress. We all must serve as ably as we can, and you see, it's been taking rather a long time, and
Well,
I'm afraid I can't just go back and report that you're not ready yet.
If he thinks this is taking too long, then he should send out his subbubs more frequently so that they can report back to me what they see up there. How am I supposed to plan without having any eyes on the ground? And then you hear the voice just kind of like mutter to himself.
Yeah, it's interesting. Lucca will kind of relay this in common for Souma, and then say, this actually gets to something that's been bothering me a bit this entire time. Is all of our research and our understanding of this place is that Belcora is long dead, and yet all of her minions continue to work diligently as if she was breathing down their very necks at this moment. None of them seem to be speaking about plans in the distant past that never came to fruition, but plans that are yet to come. Does this not strike anyone as odd, perhaps dangerous?
Well, I mean, the devils, I mean, they were bound by their contracts, so like they were obligated to do that. I'm not sure what that thing is.
Not just the devils.
Well, but like, no offense, but most other undead, other than you, Lucca, and Sir Augrael, are also like cling to their state out of obligation to unfinished business or something to that effect, right?
Yes. You are not incorrect. Many are sort of trapped in the past, but we've encountered more than just undead as well, and devils. We've encountered their kind, and he refers to Augrael, who is God, what are they?
Ghoul?
Not just. No, he's not. Well, he's a ghoul, yeah, but there's the other ones we fought are not undead. They're living.
The
Morlocks.
What is it? Morlocks.
Morlocks, yeah.
Yeah.
Like Morlocks are living folk, and those other strange worm-like beings. These are not creatures that are, we can chalk it all up to madness and say everyone here is mad, but you have to admit there's an awful lot of people working very diligently in the name of a long dead overseer.
I mean, are those worm things even work for her?
Well, what else were they? They were making the flesh warps for some reason. Just for fun.
Well, madness, yada yada,
So they're all crazy.
Do we know if Belcora was dabbling into necromancy, maybe?
Well, I think we do know that.
return on.
I mean, what?
Well, I mean,
evil,
this whole thing is.
sorcerers wouldn't be necromancer.
Yeah, I mean, this whole lighthouse is a huge, like, death rising cannon, right?
Yes, but like how good at it was.
Her, I mean, what do we know of her personal skills? I do not. I'm not
I
aware.
mean,
but
I could roll my Rose Guard lore to try, maybe, to know for sure.
Yeah.
So as you discuss this outside the door, at some point, the voice yells out and said, "Cut the chatter out there and hang on a second. Why are you able to linger for so long? I thought that witchfire would give me a little bit of privacy here. Hand, open the door." And then you hear this like chung 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 scuttling sound, and then something heavy clunk hits against the door, and then the door slowly starts to open, and you see these fingers wedge themselves into that gap that starts to open, and then hold on tight and pull the door open wider. And as it fully opens, it opens all the way, and you still see those fingers, which is a weird sight because the fingers are so large and no large creature could hide or could squeeze in that tiny little space behind the door. And then the next moment, the hand almost like jumps off that door frame and lands in front of Lucca, and it turns out to be indeed just a severed hand. Giant in size. As I've said, it looks kind of like a little child's hand, but it is scaled up essentially to the size of a giant, essentially.
it's the hand of a baby giant.
A baby giant, exactly, like chubby little fingers, but enormous in size. And Lucca, you can kind of peer into the room already. You see another creature in there that looks like this, veiled and with this turban-like hat and claw-like fingers and this many-layered robe. And the room itself, you can also make out some details in here. It's a rather small chamber, and the largest feature, or the most notable feature, is a large map of the inner sea that's painted on the north wall. But the countries that you spot, like in the split second, are long out of date. And there's a large cushion resting in the southwest corner where this creature is sitting and like cross-legged, almost like a meditative posture. And on the west wall, there are overlapping scraps of paper that create a much newer map of the town of Ottardo and the area around it. So the door flings open, like I said, that hand like jumps into right in front of you. The creature in the corner sees you, tilts their head, and says, "You don't look like Eurevian's regular minions. What is going on here?" And then it just kind of like focuses its gaze on the hand for a second, and you get the sense that maybe there's some telepathy going on. And the next thing that happens is that the hand like tenses and seems ready to pounce. So let's roll initiative, shall we? Right, I'm gonna get everyone into an encounter. Here we are. Dim. Nope, that's one too many. Hang on, why is this? Here we are. Remove this one. This one. Okay, I can roll for everyone else. Everyone's just okay. All of that makes sense. And then we can begin the encounter, and it is Lucca's turn.
That's perfect right off the bat. Yeah, Lucca sees him there, and he's like, "Well, of course we're not Arevians, normal troops, his normal servants. We're new hires, replacements. Didn't you get the word? Or have you been squirreled away in here for so long?"
Try a deception.
I can never keep it straight. Is this secret?
Yeah, make it secret. And I'll reveal this to you. The creature just you see it like tilt its head again. Its expression is impossible to read through that veil, and then you see its eyebrows go up, and it just starts laughing like a full-on belly laugh, and it says, "I have not traveled the dimensions to be so easily fooled by a lesser being like the likes of you. Don't you see? Or don't you get that I can see through your lies like a through a thin veil? You all gonna die, and I will add your hands to my collection."
Um, could Lucca make some sort of? Could he make a recall knowledge check to see what this thing is? Try and figure it out.
Sure.
Uh,
Give
uh,
me. Yeah. What's
I
that?
think can't we surmise that young girl's big hand? That's could it be young Menhemis's hand or something like that?
Now that you say it,
Sounds
like that, it kind of looks that way. That would be an occultism or an aberration lore.
Young Menhemis's hand.
Yeah, the
The
mayor's daughter.
Oh, that's weird.
It would be weird, but like not completely impossible.
But I was talking about the guy, not the
I know.
hand. Yeah, but even
No.
as I'm looking at the art, I'm seeing something that makes me think I know already who this is. But I'll roll. That rather large gemstone seems kind of suspicious. Aberrations, you said?
Aberration lore or occultism, if you want to do
Let's do
part one.
aberrations. Sorry, that was supposed to be
Ooh.
private.
That's okay. So regular success, but yeah, I mean, you were surprised that you didn't put it together sooner, but the way that creature is speaking of like traveling the dimensions and all of that pompous stuff that it's talking about, this is a denizen of Lang. That being said, you don't know a whole lot about the denizen of Lang. They are a mysterious bunch. You know that they are slavers and raiders from the dimension of Lang, that they are malevolent humanoids, and yeah, and they are in service to frightening gods that look down upon their nightmare realm with cold malice, and they are up to no good. So that's you basically just know the stories and legends about them, and I think you learned a little bit last time about their magical abilities, especially about the significance of that ruby. But that's it.
And they also have a connection, right, to the other planes
Yeah.
that lets them regenerate.
That's right.
Okay. So Lucca will very loudly say, "Ha ha! Of course, I was just testing you to make you talk more, and you fell right into my trap. We know exactly who and what you are, you Lang, dummy." He's gonna turn to Ottardo, and well, actually, that's not gonna work, is it? Because then, if I'm standing here, you can't. Oh no, you have reach, right? You have your flick mace.
Yep.
He's gonna turn to Ottardo, and he's gonna be like, "All right, have at him," and he's gonna slap him with his diabolic edict. You go, you deal with these things, and I'll laugh the whole time, and we'll be great friends.
All right, that is your third action.
That's my third action.
And then it's the denizen's turn. And he says, I will show you the power of Leng. You will kneel before it. And then he launches into an incantation and casts a spell at you, heretic. Give me that will save. And I have a feeling that you might end up being. We'll see what happens.
Hey.
You succeed. So that is the full initial damage. So you take those 15, but you don't take the. No, yes, you don't take the persistent damage.
Does every villain have this spell in this thing?
Yeah, I guess it does. Wait, you did a success. So full initial, but no persistent, and the spell immediately ends. Okay, so I'll move.
I mean, they have to show that they're evil after all, right?
Yeah, and as you feel that pain, it rattles your bones, and you feel very cold all of a sudden and insignificant, as if like the weight of the world grinds you down. But you manage to shake it off fairly quickly. That was 2 actions, and with his third action, I'm gonna say he just gets up from his cross-legged sitting position, and then it's Ottardo's turn.
Ottardo kinda doesn't want to hurt the kid hand in case it's needed to be reattached or something. So he's going to try to trip it. That's a thing. Let's see.
Tripping the hand.
Yeah.
You critically succeed in tripping the hand. It is, yeah, it's not immune to it. So it falls and lands prone and takes 1d6 bludgeoning damage. So that's 4 points of damage for it. As it goes prone. I guess it lands on the back of its hand with all fingers sticking out like a spider.
And next he is going to use his defensive advance to move past it and target the creature with a strike, the denizen. And miss it. And that is the turn for Ottardo.
Okay, Souma.
Okay, let's try to make sure that he hits next time. So Soma will strike the strings on her summoned lute and will try to inspire courage. For attack.
Okay. That's 1 action.
Yeah, I think. Let's try to keep Lucca alive. I will. Wait, maybe if I step forward, I will have to drop the loot. Okay. No, that's a dilemma. Oh, never mind. I think I will spit out the wand and hold my loot in my teeth. So yeah, it's probably. Oh no, wait. It will take an action too. Ugh. So everything is so complicated now. Okay, I will drop it.
I'm fine. You don't need to worry about me quite yet.
Okay, then I will take a step and raise a shield.
Okay. Alright.
Not this one, sorry.
And then it is the hand's turn. The first thing it does, it kind of like almost like a turtle that's on its back. It awkwardly like uses its thumb to right itself and effectively be no longer prone. So that's 1 action. And then since Ottardo squeezed past, it is going to move over here. And then try to claw at Ottardo. But he uses his shield to just knock it out of the way. Squish. That's its turn. And then it is Augrael, who I'm going to say is going to run into the room. I'll help you, Ottardo. And he targets the hand with the middle-class bastard. Hits it for 2d6 plus 5. Okay. So for 15 points of damage. But as he hits the creature, he like pops some like little pockets of pus, and they
Ew.
pop open and spray at Augrael. Luckily, even though he gets hit by them, luckily they don't really seem to harm him because it's void damage. But it's certainly gross, and at first he goes like, ah! And then he realizes, oh, that's not too bad.
Yeah,
But Ottardo probably should take note.
Yeah, out of character, I'm surprised these hands still have this ability, because I remember in Jade Regent they fought a giant hand and it also sprayed everything like this.
Yeah, it's really gross. And then another attack that hits for 12 points of damage. That was his third action, and then it's Lucca.
Yeah, let's see. Lucca is going to... I mean, yeah, we'll see how this goes. Probably not great, but you never know. Lucca is going to be like, you talk a big game, but you will never see Leng again, or any other plane for that matter. This cell where you have confined yourself will be the last quarters that you ever see. That was not as smooth as I wanted it to be. As he hits him with an impending doom.
And he succeeds. So it is unaffected for one round. Oh, yeah, it's that thing. Okay.
The failure becomes success because it's incapacitation.
Right.
So, yeah, it's just...
So he just chuckles at it. He's like, this is supposed to scare me?
Don't worry, it'll start to kick in later.
Just let it sink.
He'll end with his his embrace the pit.
Okay. All right, then it's the denizen's turn, and he moves over here, and then casts another spell. And he places it right here. So all of you are in it. What happens is that with a few gestures, he conjures up a pattern of shifting colors that just hovers in the air in a geometric cloud in this 10-foot burst. And everyone inside of this needs to roll that will save.
Wow.
I think Ottardo will spend his hero point.
All right.
And no help.
Yeah, I think Lucca will as well.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Was it keep the better or keep the second?
I think it's
Keep the
keep
second.
the second.
Second. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So what's going to happen? You're all dazzled. That's something that even a successful save doesn't prevent you from. And then, in addition, must attempt a will saving throw. A creature. Wait, what? Yeah. creature must attempt a will saving throw if it is inside the pattern when you cast it, when it enters the pattern, when it ends its turn within, or if it uses a seek or interact action. Oh, there it is. Failure target. Okay. So who failed? That's Lucca critically failed. So you are fascinated by the pattern, and while being fascinated, you can't use reactions. That's your critical effect. Ottardo, you are just fascinated. You could still take reactions. And Souma and Augrael, you are okay. And he and the denizen says, "Yes, behold the power, the magic of dreams." Ottardo.
Um, Ottardo is going to use his defensive advance. Can he actually step onto the? Oh wait, can I do this onto here or move into there rather? Stride.
Yeah, I guess you can.
Okay, so he's going to use his defensive advance to stride there, raise his shield, and attempt a strike on the denizen. Miss him, and then attempt again, and miss again.
All right. So what's the point of the fascination if you can just move out of there?
Yeah, it's weird. It's
Fascinated is a poor condition. It's basically just you take a penalty to perception checks.
and
And I
skill
think some
Yeah.
checks.
checks.
I guess you can't take concentrate actions, which is spell casting, right? So
Oh,
Unless they
unless they
are
are. Hmm.
related to the subject of your fascination, which is
right. So
pretty
you could
weird.
do like yeah, well, you could cast like detect magic to figure out what is this marvelous pattern and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
I
But
guess so.
yeah. Okay, but it's also it does your fascination doesn't stop while moving out of the area, I don't think. A creature currently fascinated doesn't attempt new saves. Target is fascinated. Target is fascinated. Yeah, I think it's just it triggers once you are in the area, but it doesn't stop just because you moved out. Okay. Soma.
Well, okay, it seems to.
Sorry, one more thing though. You are no longer dazzled while when you're not in the
Yeah.
area. Yeah, I put that. Okay, no, Soma.
Yeah,
Soma.
yeah, okay,
Sorry.
let's. It seems that if I stay in this, I might still be fascinated on this round. So I think I will have to step out. Step out first. So if I step out, I will not be dazzled, right?
Yes, you're no longer dazzled.
Although it's kind of strange because I'm still staring at this guy through the hypnotic pattern. Well,
Right,
no,
right.
never mind. Okay, I will try to hit him with my last spell, which might be useful. He seems to be very keen on laughing at us, so let's just help him.
Okay. That's on the creature. So let's see. Oh, that's a failure. So yeah, it was laughing before in this pompous way, and now he just starts to a little maniacally, just like and it doesn't seem to be fully in control of that laugh.
Yep, and that will be my turn, and this will be sustained next. Let's go.
Okay, all right, let's go. The hand is going to attack Ottardo and strike at you, critically missing. Strike again, critically missing. Strike again, critically missing. That was fun. Then it is Augrael's turn, who's like, "I got you, Ottardo," and gonna try to fight from. Well, it's gonna step over here to flank, and then strike once. Ooh,
I think he
Augrael.
has to do the um, concealment DC 5.
Yeah,
Oh,
because he's
Augrael.
still dazzled.
All right, I'll do that. Succeeds.
Oof.
So, does
I
concealment
think-
protect you from critical hits? No, right? It's just
No.
your eyes are always concealed. So, blah, blah, blah. Area effects is not something. Yeah, no, nothing like that. Okay, so that's a critical. And do we have sneak attack in here twice? Yes. Why is that still in there? This is so weird. So I'll take off. I'll take off 9 points of damage. But that's actually exactly enough to kill the creature.
Oh no.
So he just nails it to the floor. There, Ottardo, I saved you. And more pus just keeps like splashing out and washes over Augrael, and he just kind of like wipes it off, and it's like, but nothing happens to him. And then it's Lucca.
Yeah, Lucca is fascinated by the spell effect. He's the only one who's fascinated by it. Well, I guess Ottardo still is. He can technically he can cast a spell at it, right?
Yeah.
In that case, he's gonna try to dispel magic, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it just says you're fascinated. It doesn't say that you like the thing. So you could just be like, "Oh,
Right.
what is this? It's super powerful. I need to get rid of this." You know, it's just that you.
This is mysterious and strange, and I feel compelled to to dispatch it.
Yes.
Get away from me! Whatever dreams, I haven't had a dream in 40-something years. Get this power of dreams nonsense out of here. Yeah, so he will attempt to counteract the spell. Every
Okay.
time we do this, I'm
Yes.
utterly confused.
Me too.
You do a
I
spell.
know that's not enough. I don't think that's enough, but
Mm,
I mean, it tells you right in there. It's a
Yeah, counteract the what is the DC? Spell use the caster's DC. So yeah, definitely not enough. So that's a failure. Counteract if its counteract rank is less than 3.
I mean, it's a
And
4 on the die. It's definitely not enough,
well, let's see.
and it's only a 3rd rank spell. So
If the effect is a spell, its rank is the counteract rank, and the rank of the spell is 3.
yeah, but less
Oh, and
than
it's
3.
less than 3, not less than
Yeah.
equal. Okay, yeah. So it's but almost. Okay, so that was 2 actions.
yeah, I guess Lucca will move. He'll just wander around, being like, "Ooh, ah." Actually, no, he shouldn't. No. He should. He's still fascinated. Yeah, he's like, "Ooh, ah," wandering around. I'll come over here. That's it.
I mean,
Is
you
that
can
right?
come over and whack him with your staff or whatever
Well,
you're doing.
he's not. I don't think he's the subject of my fascination.
No. I mean, you could still do it because that's not a concentrate action.
Right,
so
right.
that-
It's not a
I mean,
concentrate.
I feel like that's very out of
Yeah,
character.
and I only have
for-
1 action, so like
Yeah.
I'm just wandering.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So
It's
then
fine.
like,
He's gonna start to be affected by impending doom now. So
okay. So yeah. So he giggles and goes from the laughing fit, but at the same time you hear this like ever so slight sense of insecurity in there. Where's
yeah,
the
he's
off
now
guard?
considered off guard.
Mm-hmm. And he is also with his back to the door, and he has no offensive spells, all flavor. So he just starts slashing out with his kukri, like this way and that way. One goes to Ottardo, strike, and I forgot to target you. I just instead made you invisible. Sorry about
Yeah.
that. So a 32, is that a hit?
32 is a hit.
Ah, so he strikes out, and maybe that surprises you a little bit, because you didn't expect him to not use a spell. So you take that damage, and that slash just causes a brutal gash that starts to bleed violently. And then he targets Augrael and strikes one more time, but misses. And because he's slowed, he is now done with his turn, and then it's Ottardo.
Well, Ottardo is going to return the strike.
Yeah, much more forcefully. Well, actually, not that much more forcefully, but yeah, you hit him. And to your surprise, he's not as squishy as you would have expected a spellcaster to be. Takes that blow in stride, just still giggling maniacally.
And Ottardo will follow up with one more miss, and he'll finish by raising his shield.
Okay. And then it's Lucca. Nope, sorry, was wrong here. Souma. Oh,
Okay.
yeah, and you take that damage and then can try to recover. You don't recover, it keeps bleeding 3 damage. Souma.
Alright, so this time let's turn the inspiring anthem back on. It's the attack one again. And the other action is to sustain it, to sustain the Laughing Fit spell. And can I poke Lucca to somewhat to snap him out of the fascination, or is it? Can I help him?
Over now. The spell's sustained, so we didn't
right.
sustain it last round.
Okay, so I don't really have anything to put for another action, so I will raise my shield again until the spell snaps out completely. The fascination.
Did you
Yeah,
say
I
you
think-
didn't sustain the laughing fit?
No, sorry, I was saying hypnotic pattern is a sustained spell, and he didn't sustain it.
Oh, yes, you're right. That is true. I missed that. But that's okay. He does not have the ability, or he doesn't have the leisure to sustain that spell, so that's okay.
Okay, so
but yeah, what does that mean for your fascination? I guess it's gone. Yeah, right, because the source of your fascination is gone. That was Souma?
Yeah, that would be me for now.
Then it's Augrael, who is also no longer dazzled because the pattern is gone. And he's going to target the denizen and is going to try to... Well, actually, he'll step forward first and then strike once.
Oh my god.
Oh, right, he's off guard still, so
Yeah.
that makes the sneak attack trigger, but I'll have to take off 9 because of that weird thing. So I'll damage 54 and then I will heal 9. All right, and yeah, that's a brutal strike that he delivers, and then he follows it up with another quick stab, but that misses. And Lucca.
Lucca's feeling emboldened by the inspiring song and the lack of fascinating patterns, so he's gonna step into the room. 1, 2, come on. Technically stride into the room, I suppose. So you can get a good view on what's happening here. And he's gonna throw down a good old-fashioned floating flame.
Okay, he'll try to dodge it, and he succeeds, which means he takes half.
It's a basic save, so
Yep.
I will roll the damage, and then you have to add 4 because it's blood magic.
Okay.
So it's actually 21.
Okay, so it should be 10 points of damage. So I'll add 2. All right, so yeah, you burn him, and he's clearly on the defensive. Backed up against the door. He's still giggling, but you can see in what's visible of his face that he is starting to panic. He spends an action opening the door, and another action stepping through. And because he's slowed, that's his turn. Ottardo.
He's also frightened this round now because of the impending doom. So,
Okay.
literally frightened.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. That's what he looks like.
Well, Ottardo is going to try to pile on the misery.
Oh, right, you have that reach. And you bash him for... Whoa. That's... bash him for 15 points first. And then you bash him again for another 10. And he's, badly bruised. Clearly on the verge of dying. Gonna push him over the edge.
I guess he'll try.
It's a hit. And the damage, is enough to break his skull. And he collapses onto the floor, dead.
And someone will sustain the spell, so his corpse would still laugh.
Yeah, Lucca wants to be. Lucca wants to be
face.
really sure as well, so he's letting that floating flame incinerate the body because he knows about the regeneration.
Okay, so you let the flame roll over him multiple times, and it is fast healing. So fast healing means that once it's dead, right? It's not.
I think you're right.
Yeah. If killed, their body. Oh, right. Yes. Okay. So you send the flame over it, and its robes start to catch on fire and start to smolder and burn. But then you see that also its entire body is starting to dissolve, and just kind of like into nothingness. And in the end, all of its equipment is left behind, slightly scorched by the flames, but its body is nowhere to be found.
Lucca will rush forward and pat out the fire.
Now you stomp it out, and then you step on its kukri, a ruby, and a fragment of that key that you're after. I think you can take it off its body, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. So Lucca will hold up the things that he's discovering here amongst the remains of its clothing. Well, what a nifty looking magical kukri.
Indeed.
And who's holding the fragments of Erevian's pendant? You want
I think we share them all.
Oh, okay. Then I guess Lucca will take that and hold on to it for now.
Oh, and also, speaking of the kukri, I forgot that Ottardo is still bleeding, so Ottardo, let's do a round of bleed.
Yep.
I could first aid him.
Well, we'll do one round of bleed for him, and then you can try the first aid. Okay, so that is... Yep, there you go, 2 points of damage. And then, Souma, you rush over to try and help him.
Yeah, there's so many actions in the list. I definitely know there has to be a first aid one specifically.
Does first aid get rid of bleeding?
I think there is one where you can assist in... It's assisted recovery.
Yeah.
It's not first aid with assisted, or it's one of the uses of first aid, which is assisted recovery.
Administer first aid. Stop bleeding. Attempt a medicine check on a creature that is taking persistent bleed damage, and the DC is usually the DC of the effect that caused the bleed. And if it's a success, the target benefits from an assistant recovery with a lower DC for particularly appropriate help.
Oh, okay. Pretty good.
25. The DC is the DC of the effect that caused the bleed. So, what would that be? In this case, it's the kukri, so I don't know what that would be. I guess the item level?
Probably.
Maybe the class DC of the creature.
I think it's the weapon that did the effect, so I would take the item.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a 4th level item, so I don't know what the DC is for that level 4, but I'm pretty sure 25 beats it.
Yeah, I would think so too. So that's an assisted recovery for you? Yeah, that's enough.
Which means next roll is lower DC?
Yes.
It's like DC 10, right?
Where is it?
Yeah.
Attempt.
But I believe you
check
take the
what
damage. You take the damage first, and then.
Right.
Wait, no. I think assisted recovery means you get to do a check immediately.
Oh god. These rules still haven't sunk in for me.
Yeah, it's just. I mean, for me, it's just too far apart. Sessions, but.
Someone has
He
flashbacks.
decides how your help helps.
Yeah, and I do find them less clunky than they were. It's just that I can't retain all of them. Okay, so that's a success.
Does the hand return to normal child size?
The hand actually also kind of dissolved into nothingness after you struck it down.
Just so you know, Simon, the reason why we can never remember what assisted recovery is because it's literally your discretion. You can lower the DC, you can allow an additional check, you can just decide that it automatically stops it. It's up to you.
I hate those things. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I will come up with a different ruling every time.
Great. I mean, that's your prerogative, apparently, so...
Yep.
Yeah.
Does anyone want this kukri? I have no use for it, but it does have a striking rune and a +1 rune and all that.
Yeah, I think you can help yourself to it. I'm already quite loaded with magical gear.
Oh wait, does this mean I'll finally be able to put +1 in striking on my Staff of the Dead?
Yes.
Yes. Never mind, I have many uses for these runes, at least.
Okay. All right, so you also open, or the denizen actually opened that door, but you have visibility into that adjacent room now, where you see another silk pillow. This one's pretty filthy. It's resting at the center of the room, surrounded by several unlit candles, and there are several charcoal depictions drawn directly on the stone walls that feature the same teenage girl. A small wooden box sits in the corner of the room with a few more candles inside. And the candles actually look quite valuable. About 50 gold pieces. So I will hand those over to Lucca. Here you go.
Oh, okay. Lucca will pick those up and he'll look around the room. He's gonna do some detect magic around here. He has a hard time imagining that the Ling... I mean, like, what was... We know this guy was up to stuff around town, so where is the evidence of that?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, the drawings that you see here, they do kind of resemble Doriana, but there's no like physical evidence beyond that.
Yeah, I mean, she's a child.
Yeah.
I'll note that the art of this room in the map makes it look like there's hands pegged to the wall. Do we actually see that, or is that not there?
That is a good question. Oh, I noticed something. Huh. They switched the labels. So let's just open the other room over here, and
Other room.
between those two rooms.
Indeed.
So you found the candles in that other room, which looks way more than, or closer to the description that I gave you to begin with.
Got
And
it.
that
Okay.
that room here to the south, that actually has a small desk in there that is covered in the stubs of burned candles standing against the east wall. And the west wall indeed has severed hands from more than a dozen creatures nailed to it. Each one is badly withered and displayed palm outward.
Any of them look like a child's hand?
You look through them, and they're kind of like, as you go through them, they're neatly arranged, and as you look over them, you notice that they're like you can see that they're in various stages of decay. And the most recent one that's here, hang on.
Yeah, I think her hand was still attached to her when we last saw the girl. It was withering, but it's still attached.
But it was but I don't know if the withering is some sort of magical thing that would have
Relate
it
to
manifest both here and there.
Yeah.
So the most recent one that is here is larger than a child's hand, and it is like slightly, weirdly grayish blue skin, very rough skin, almost like reptile skin.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously these are the hands of the people he has taken. But I think we still don't entirely understand the nature of the connection that he was forging with these creatures.
Mm-hmm.
Besides seeing them, like visiting them in their dreams and
Mm-hmm.
like binding them to him in some way.
Yeah, I mean, it left that ruby behind, right? Do we remember what powers it has?
I mean, Lucca picks up the ruby. I remember that we did discover what the rubies do. I just have forgotten.
Yeah, I can tell you that again. That many denizens of Leng carry strange rubies mined from quarries in Leng, and as long as a creature holds a Leng ruby that it willingly accepted as a gift or payment from a denizen of Leng, any denizen of Leng can target that creature with various spells, and the bearer uses and blah blah blah. Yeah, so it makes them more susceptible to those spells, and it can do that at a distance.
It's just like a sort of spell amplifier.
And it creates this connection that you were talking about, essentially.
Right. Okay. So perhaps the danger has passed since we have destroyed the denizen. We have its ruby, even if it gave one.
Yeah, exactly. You have its ruby, but.
Well, didn't you just say it has to be? Is it any denizen of Leng can target her, or the one that gave it to her can target her?
The one that gave it to her.
Okay. So assuming this is the motley man, and he is dressed rather flamboyantly, then we have perhaps spared the girl from some fate, but I suppose it's impossible to know for sure unless we get the ruby out of her possession.
Yeah. I don't think we even confirmed that she has the ruby. We just see her clutching that stuffed toy really desperately.
Right. True.
But,
well, we'll just rip it to pieces.
Yeah, it's a solution. I suppose we just should check on her condition once we get out, because we really should get out now very soon.
Do you think this denizen will reform in length or something like that? Or is he gone?
Oh yes, I think. I think I was looking at the thing's. Wasn't I looking at the thing's stat block at one point? Because I had.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, you know that the stories go that they if you fight them anywhere other than Lang, they just return
Right.
to Lang.
Yeah, I was looking at the stat block before. I remember the art, but not his art. It's different art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and I remember that we were talking about what it means that the planar connection does not function, because it doesn't explicitly say if there are any spells that would make that happen. But yeah,
Right.
the way that it died right now, you would think that it just reformed in Lang.
So it's been brought back to its home plane. So I suppose the problem persists. It can't get back here easily, I don't think, right? No. It would have to find a way back to this plane, but even without being here, it still has a connection through the ruby, so the whatever the girl's name is, whatever, if you want to save her, you'll probably need to go find the ruby she has and get rid of it.
Okay, well, I guess we can do that when we go back to town.
Yeah.
Yes.
By the way, now that we finished with this guy, does anything happen in the exposition room? Like that guy mentioned the witchfire. Maybe it was linked to it somehow.
Oh, well, if you move over and inspect it, you don't feel like anything has changed.
He mentioned its name, though.
Called the Witchfire.
Oh, I thought he said a name.
Well, he named the Urivi and the.
Yeah. Well, I know Ottardo had a vision about it,
Mm-hmm.
like what the witchfire went through. So I'm assuming that ending it has something to do with that, but
Probably. Ottardo is going to look around the room, see if there's anything else.
Okay.
Yeah.
Of note.
Yeah. You can give me some perception check.
Yeah, I think someone also will take a look in this in the back room and before we go.
Okay. Yep. Roll for it. You can use the same prompt that I gave. Yep. There we go. Okay. So you casually look through the rooms. Souma, you look through the desk and you find in one of the drawers 2 scrolls, which I'm gonna just toss into your inventory. And Lucca, you also look through the rooms, and maybe Ottardo studies those maps on the wall, those maps of Otari for a little bit, like seeing that indeed, like some time ago, somebody had made some strategic plans on them, like various lines of attack are marked and as various options, and then depending on certain other conditions. But it looks like that's been a while ago that anyone made any new additions to it. So Ottardo, you kind of like ready to move on from it. But Lucca, you spot something just behind one of the pages that have started to peel off the wall and is hanging down, and you see this little gap in the stone. And you inspect it closer and more closely, and you find a little secret door.
Mm-hmm.
have a look at this. He'll like, peel back the map on the wall and like push open the door.
Yep, and it moves rather reluctantly, and you find this very narrow, almost like a crawl space behind the wall.
Augrael, go take a look.
It's a pretty long hallway. Go south. And then there's a corner going west. And I think there's a door at the end.
Oh, dang, now we have to go there.
Another tight corridor here. A little narrow.
Sure is. Yeah, and there is that door that Augrael was talking about, leading to the east. Just looks like just a regular door.
And a regular room.
Yeah, hang on. Yep,
Don't
indeed.
trust it.
A room. A chamber with flat black walls that just reflect an eerie emptiness. There's an open trapdoor that's opened and leaned against the east wall, and it leads down to a narrow crawl space of some kind. Yeah, you step into the room. You also see this door here. I think that's where it is. Hang on. Yeah. Oh, sorry. I'm losing my thread here. Give me a second. I don't really understand this. I'm sorry. I need another minute. Makes no sense to me. All right, okay. So, the room is kind of illuminated by a pale glow that comes from somewhere near the ceiling. And as you step in to take in the whole view, it suddenly goes dark. And then we roll for initiative.
Mistakes were made.
Okay. We've got this. Okay, won the initiative here, so... Wait. Okay. So the light goes out, and then you find yourself in pitch black darkness, but suddenly there's this enormous discharge of electricity that arcs down from the ceiling, and for a brief moment there, you can see will-o-wisps outlined against the top of the ceiling. And you remember this one and its faint gray visage, and it shocks you
God, right off the bat.
right off the bat with a natty 20 for 46 points of electricity damage.
Wow.
And then it becomes hit, or it is just hidden from you because of the discharge, but then it moves and you're no longer sure where it is, but you sense its presence. And you also hear these whispers that are just kind of echoing, bouncing off the dark walls of this chamber. And they're in various languages, some of which you don't understand, but common is also in there. And it says something like, "You will find your empty death. You have come to your oblivion. You shall be consumed." And other ominous whispers along those lines. Okay, so that was her turn, or its turn, and then it's Augrael, and he jumps and he says, "No, Ottardo!" He goes in, looks around, rapier drawn. What was that? And he has no way of determining where or what it is, so he just stands at the ready. And it's Lucca's turn.
Yeah. Lucca just sighs a little bit and he's like, oh, just think again. He's gonna step or stride, I suppose, into the room. Oh, I can see it.
Well, yeah, you can sense it, right? Because you have the spirit sense.
Yeah, good.
So,
Yeah, no, exactly. That I wasn't sure if it would function like that or not.
yeah, I'm trying to figure it out.
Lucca will go to hit it with one of the few spells that I think works on this thing. Hope it works on it. If I remember correctly, it does. He's gonna throw a revealing light at it. He can't. Oh, he can. He can cast it right here, I guess, so that it doesn't hit any allies. Yeah, and it has to make a reflex save.
Okay, let's see that. There it is. She fails.
All right, so the light affects the creature for 1 minute.
Oh.
Okay, so a creature affected is dazzled. If it was invisible, it becomes concealed. If the creature was already concealed, it is okay. Light affects the creature for 1 minute, 10 rounds. Got it. Okay, good.
All right, so Lucca goes, all right, I lit her up, now you strike her down. Have no more of this empty death talk.
And the voice continues, "The empty death will strike you down." And it's Soma's turn.
Okay. First, let's give Inspire Courage with extended lingering spell. I think that succeeds. Oh wait, my bar DC is 24, so it's critically succeeds. So
Okay,
composition
make it.
composition
Oh,
will
4
last
rounds.
4
Nice,
rounds. Yeah. Yeah. So that was one action. Then Soma will run in. Sorry. Yeah, and we'll try to battle medicine Sir Ottardo back to health. And that's it.
Okay. And then it's Ottardo's turn.
Well, Ottardo will try to strike the thing down. Miss. Crit miss. And he's going to raise his shield.
Okay. Alright, so then it's her turn. Okay, so she is currently under the effect of that. What was it called? Revealing light.
Revealing light?
Does not like that, and her pupilless eyes like look around, and she's like almost as if she's blinded by herself being revealed in this way, and she whispers a spell that she casts upon herself, trying to counteract the revealing light. So that is pretty high. The
It's
revealing
against
light
what
would
my spell DC?
rank. The spell rank.
The spell rank is 2.
Yeah, so then she counteracts the revealing light, is no longer dazzled or concealed. That was 2 actions, so then first of all, she's invisible again, and then moves with her 3rd action, which means that she is undetected for most of you. And her voice still echoes and says, my mistress protects me. And Augrael says, damn it, she was just here. Where's she now? Where is she? And he looks to Lucca, delaying until after Lucca.
Yeah. I didn't see where the token moved at all, so are you able to tell me, like, where I saw it going?
Yeah, you saw it over here.
Oh, really? Okay, because it's no longer visible to me at all.
Yeah, because it's undetected. I can only make her undetected to everyone. I can't, like, have it have different stats.
Okay, got it. All right, in that case, yeah, Lucca will first point out the location, just in case he's not able to land the spell, and then he will try again. And he will, I think he can, he can place it so that it doesn't hit anyone else.
Yeah. So then she succeeds, but that just means that it's for 2 rounds.
Yeah,
so
it's still revealed for 2 rounds, so.
Yeah. Okay, so it is just concealed at this point.
We can do this all day, he says.
All right, and then, aha! Augrael says, and he runs over, and even though it's floating under the ceiling, the chamber isn't that high, so he can kind of like shove the rapier upwards, even though it's a little bit awkward angle, but it would still be a regular strike. But he misses with the first one, and then misses with the second one. Stop moving, Souma.
Okay, yes, I think.
You think? Hello? Did I drop?
No.
No.
Everything okay? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Did you hear what I said? No?
Nope.
Sorry, maybe I have pushed the talk, or maybe my finger slipped. I said Souma will spit out her Wand of Magic missile and use all her reactions to load it, unload it into this creature.
All right, let's see that.
I think I still should make the flat check for the concealment, right?
Targeting you with an attack, spell, or other effect. Yes. You make that. Yeah, let's see that damage. Okay. 3, 4, 4.
Well, that's respectable somewhat.
4. Okay. So that's 3, 4, 4. Okay. The missiles strike true, and it's Ottardo's turn.
So it's visible but concealed?
It's still concealed, yeah.
Okay. Well, Ottardo's going to try to smack it.
Well, you should be able to target it. Oh, I see. That was the flat check.
The concealment.
Yeah. Okay, that's a hit. And you smack it for 13 points.
And then a second
Into
time.
Post-touch rune. Yep, that's another hit. Or another potential hit. But you miss.
And to finish with the shield.
Okay, so she realizes that she can't avoid Ottardo's reach, but at least she can force Augrael to move, so she flies over here and then targets Lucca, and her eyes just kind of like glaze over, and she says, your death will be your death may be empty. You don't see your destiny in front of you, you shall see nothing. And then she casts a spell at you. Roll that fortitude save.
Okay. Just gonna ask, am I concealed to her? Or does she have another precise sense?
Because she has that.
She's dazzled.
She only has dark vision, you're right. So I'm gonna give her that flat check.
Ha!
Oh, good call. So that means she can target, or that means she loses the
She can't
spell?
target.
If the check fails, you aren't affected. So, but if she can't target, she basically still has the spell, right?
Oh, I don't know about that. Does she have to use the actions and cast the spell first, or is it one of those you spent the actions but you didn't expend the spell slot kind of things?
Good question.
I don't know. I mean, if like from my gut feeling, I think she doesn't expend the spell because she needs to actually see you to cast it, and she doesn't see you because she's dazzled.
Right, but you don't check to see if she's dazzled until she actually takes the actions. So I would think the actions are gone.
Some abilities and spells can disrupt a spell.
I thought that
disrupt.
I thought the thing with concealment and dazzled is that you can see but you miss. So you try to do the thing, but you don't land it.
Oh.
Okay, I'm gonna burn the spell for now, but I'm gonna look it up, see if that's really how it's supposed to work. Okay, so that was then, because that also burns the 2 actions, I guess.
Here's what it says under concealed. If the check fails, you aren't affected by the spell. It just says you aren't affected. It doesn't say anything about what happens to the spell, but it does make it seem like they tried to affect you.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah. So it's your turn.
Great. Lucca chuckles, feeling superior, even as he knows that none of his spells are actually going to do it. None of his other spells are going to do anything to this creature. So he lightly leans his staff against the wall and then uses 2 actions to draw out 2 wands of magic missile. And spends, I guess, his 3rd action demoralizing it. Like, it's time for you to face your own empty death. You gross and intangible. Are you tangible? I forget. Incorporeal creature.
It is
I think
corporeal.
it's technically
very,
corporeal, yeah.
Have like a spongy texture.
You gross flying sponge. I'll try to demoralize it. That didn't roll anything.
No, you need to do that intimidation check.
I guess it was a failure.
It seems unimpressed.
Yeah.
That's your turn?
That is my turn.
Okay.
3 actions.
Augrael steps over here, targets, and stabs. Once, twice, and misses. And then it's Souma.
Okay. What do I want to do? I could. Yeah, let's try. Let's try hitting it. I will. She will raise her hand and cast telekinetic projectile. Oh, god damn it. Wait a second, maybe I should...
What?
The target takes 80 damage.
Never mind. I just had to do some bookkeeping. Okay, so...
you know what, I think I'll try to hero point this one.
Okay.
Well,
That
so
was worth it. Let's roll that damage. Okay, 15 points of damage as you fling that marble at her. That's your turn.
And for my last action, she will produce one of her potions from her backpack. Or
Okay,
yeah, that's it.
Ottardo will not be able to hit it the first time.
Oh, wait, I needed to check it as well, right?
Or the second time.
Yep.
Oh, god damn it! So
Oh,
I
you didn't do the... Okay, so I'll take that
yeah.
back. And for his last action, he'll lay hands on himself.
Okay. And then it's her turn again. She will fly over into this corner. And I believe that's her last round under the effects of this. So I think she might want to do something. Well, she doesn't know that. So what is something she would like to do? Nobody has really emerged.
This should be her second round with that on.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Trying to figure out if there's anyone that has emerged as a threat to her, but really, I guess only Lucca. So is there, but not really. Is there anything she can do that targets multiple people? Sorry, I'm trying to figure out. Yes, okay. So she is going to, even though she's concealed, she's still somewhat horrifying because, there's this floating ghostly head that every now and then you can see the vague outline of it, and there's this constant whispering of your imminent demise and your obliteration by the empty death. And then there's these other mumblings that she throws in there as she casts a fear spell, which is going to affect all of you because it's heightened. So I need all of you to make a check. A will save, I mean.
My god, these rolls today. Oh no.
Mhm.
Jeez.
And Augrael. Wow. So you all fail, which means you're all frightened 2. And the duration is it goes down by 1 each turn, I believe. Okay, so that was her turn. And it's Lucca's turn, and I believe the revealing light ends. Because it was 2 rounds on a success.
It went through once. Isn't this the second round of it?
There was 2 rounds that she was revealed, so on your turn it should end.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I cast it and then she was revealed for a round and then that second round happened. Okay.
Right.
All right. Well, Lucca is going to wave a wand around and do it again.
Oh.
He's not using the wand. He's just got it in his hand.
Just for emphasis.
Yeah, Lucca, can you remind me please how well fire worked on this thing the last time?
It's up for another 2 rounds. How about fire worked?
Yeah.
I don't think spells work. Period. You need to hit it with like physical damage.
Okay.
At least that's how wisps work in general. There's a couple of very specific spells that hurt it, including
Revealing Light. Yeah.
including Revealing Light and Magic Missile. But you really need to go in with the physical damage to do anything, and even that I think is like reduced in some way. Okay, well that was 2 actions from Lucca. He's not gonna do anything with this third action, I guess. He's just gonna stand there. He already tried to demoralize it. We didn't rest. Yeah, I don't think he's got anything to do for 1 action.
All right, then your frightened condition ticks down by 1, and it is Augrael's turn. Oh, it did that automatically. I should
Did
give
that
it back
too.
to you. There we go. Okay, Augrael is saying, I don't know, Ottardo. And you can see him like have a shaky grip on his rapier, but he's just gonna go in anyway. Try to strike her once, twice.
Come on.
It's futile.
Roll higher than a 10.
Oh, is that how you do it? And then it's Souma's turn.
Okay. So we can approach it, right? Even though we are afraid of it, right?
Yeah, there's no other limitation, just the negative to your checks.
Okay, so yeah, the thing I was being dramatic about that I produce a potion from my backpack, it is in fact this potion, and Souma drinks it.
Nice.
Wait, no. Well, I was meant to use it by drinking it. No, never mind. So she steps forward and then she does that.
Right. So that's a basic reflex save here for the creature, which it succeeds at. So it does 4 points of fire damage.
Okay,
So
and
nice.
and now that is on cooldown for this amount of rounds.
Okay, I'll let you keep track of that. And then it's Ottardo's turn.
Wait,
He
what?
trying to what?
What's that, Cardis?
And never mind. I was going to say that apparently it rolled for itself, but I will set. I probably will set for 2 rounds since I rolled it.
Okay. Yeah, Ottardo's, you try to hit it, but you miss because your hands are shaky. Try again.
Second attempt. Yes.
Miss again.
He'll third attempt.
You still should have the inspire. It's lingering for 4 rounds.
Right.
because it
Would
was
it have?
lingering.
Would that 29 have made it?
Would have, yep, the 29. Nope, that would have missed by 1.
Oh my
Wow.
god.
Jesus.
Okay, so that's your turn. Then it's the wisp's turn. You're all already frightened, but is there anything else that she can do to a group while you're still? Yes, there it is. Okay, so she flies over here and then channels the fury of the empty death and places a burst right here. So let's see what happens. Oh, it's an alignment spell, right? That doesn't actually work anymore. But there was an updated version of that. What was it called again? Not Divine Wrath, but what is it now?
What was the old one?
The old one was Divine Wrath. Oh, there is
It's still called Divine Wrath.
That name, yeah. So 40-10 spirit damage to areas in the area depending on their fortitude save. Okay, so I'm gonna. Can you just roll fortitude saves?
Okay. Oh no.
And the DC would be 28. So only
God.
Lucca made it. So let's see what happens. Oh, it has degrees. So everyone who failed takes 4d10. So you would take this in spirit damage. Anyone who failed, and you are sickened 1. So who failed?
Augrael, Souma,
Augrael and Souma. And that's it. Ottardo, did you? Yeah, you. Oh, you crit failed, right?
Yeah.
So you take full damage and you're sickened 2. And while you are sickened, you are also slowed 1. So let me just make you sickened 2 and then
Wow.
slowed 1. And Lucca, you succeeded, so you'd only take half damage and no further status effects or conditions, I should say. All right, yeah. So she she discharges this burst of the fury of the empty death, and it manifests as this profound feeling of just feeling completely hopeless and insignificant, as if you just don't even exist. And then I'm gonna go to the next turn here, but I have to pop out for a second because I hear my kids going nuts out there. I'll be right back.
It's like, I swear, opening the doors will kill us eventually.
This is really going poorly. I don't even think our strategies are bad. It's just been rolling terribly.
Well, these things have been kicking our ass every time.
Yeah. Well, this one in particular.
I
It
think
hits
we
so
faced
hard.
it once and it just walked away because it got tired of us or something. We couldn't hit it, and it I don't know how we ended that fight.
It did flee. We did eventually do some damage to it, and it fled. But we couldn't catch it once it got too far away. Because I remember Lucca chasing after it. But yeah, I think we were just hitting it with normal damage. Like Lucca was pointing it out, Souma was pointing it out. I think Souma had like see the unseen on.
Yeah, I already spent this one, unfortunately.
And you guys were just wailing on it, and you did enough damage to drive it off. I only have one more casting of Revealing Light left, so I don't know what. I mean, I can keep pointing out where it is, but I'm all.
You know,
I'm also,
we can always step away and come back next day.
I
should
guess.
probably-
I hate this thing so much, and I feel like we're closer than it feels like if we can just land a couple of good hits. Because it hasn't really been hurting us these last several rounds too much. It's mostly
Yeah.
just been debilitating. Does Soma have a good way to heal up Ottardo to get some of those status effects off of him?
Not anymore. My spells are completely gone. I still have some healing potions to, to at least keep his hit points up.
I have a low level version of Dispel Magic, but I'm not even sure. I guess the spell isn't even active on you anymore. So
Yeah.
it probably doesn't work.
Mm.
I mean, I've got some magic missiles to hit it with, but like even that is affected by concealment, so Floating Flame isn't affected by concealment. I can just keep trying to hit it with that, but I feel like it doesn't matter. Oh wait, it doesn't matter because it's a spell.
At least telekinetic projectile worked. And the next round I probably will breathe fire on it.
Yeah, you guys in Augrael just need to keep doing damage because Lucca's kind of, besides telling you where it is, he's kind of useless at this point. I'll see if I have a chance to get a magic missile off, but the only other thing I can think of, and I can't remember if this creature is affected by it, is harm. Forget if it's affected by. I feel like it is, but I don't remember.
Behold.
Oh my god.
She's so sweet, but it is her lunchtime, and that makes her a little crazy. Dinner time, so. But I'm gonna see if I can have her with me while my kids are getting calmed down by Maya. All right, so where were we? Lucca's turn.
Yeah, Lucca is gonna take this chance while he can and try to blast it with magic missile. 3 actions.
Okay.
And he's using a rank. Wait a second, one of these should be a rank 2 version. Oh, there it is. Yeah. So when it's a higher rank, what does that mean?
I think more damage? Or can you heighten a magic missile?
Yeah, at level 3.
Well,
If it's level 2, it doesn't do anything.
Oh, well, then it doesn't do anything. It's a level 2 magic missile wand. I don't know how I ended up with that.
Well, I guess it does, because, to counteract it or whatever, if there's such a thing, counteracting a magic missile.
Alright, so I'll roll to see if I can target. And then...
Okay, roll that damage. 3.
No, I don't take the damage.
Point it the other way.
Doesn't use these wands very often. Okay. Wow. So very low, almost minimal damage.
1 and 2. Okay, so let's take that damage though.
And 6. Yeah, and then I will heal myself.
Okay, that's your turn?
That is my whole turn.
All right, Augrael, standing next to her, has a chance to strike her once, twice, 3 times, all of them. Go wide, and then it's Soma's turn.
Okay. let's first move here so I don't hit Augrael. Ah, wait, never mind. It's not that one. It's not that turn yet. Sorry. So, in that case, I will try to spend one turn retching, trying to get rid of the second condition. Come on, I clicked.
Oh, nice retching.
Yeah, and as she does, you see how like smoke and sparks like come from her throat as she like powers up her her new potion. Well, that she
Oh,
stole
nice.
from. Okay, that was one action, and let's try magic missile. Oh, it's true, not magic missile, telekinetic projectile. It seemed to be working last time.
Remember the DC 5 first? All right. That's a hit. Whoa. That is a massive hit. That's the most
Nice.
damage he's taken this whole fight. So you just made yourself a target. Ottardo.
Okay, Ottardo will try.
Mm-hmm. So far so good. That's a hit and a
Yes.
hit too.
Yay.
And 13 points. Well, it does connect, but it's not enough to strike her down just yet.
Finish it. Yes.
Ooh!
Oh, all
Do
right.
it.
Let's see that.
Wait, let me click critical.
Okay, with lots of penned up frustration and some righteous anger, and maybe channeling your existential dread into a powerful swing, you strike the creature, and as your flick mace hits that spongy texture, it just kind of like bursts and splatters against the wall. Its light, well, its light was already off, but now its existence is snuffed as well. Nice work on that.
Finally.
Hang on while I sort things out here. Okay, that's great. I forgot the XP last time. So this is 60 XP. That you each should get, and then let me just do the math for the other encounter. That would be 55 XP.
An odd number.
Yeah, it's because you're kind of a little over leveled, basically.
65.
55, the second one.
55.
So, where are you now with your XP total?
I have total 646.
Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yes, that's great. Okay, so you strike her down, and it gives you a little bit of immediate respite. The fear subsides, but looking around, there's just something to this chamber. This like the way that the black walls reflect the darkness in here, almost if it that makes it even darker, and just this profound sense of emptiness. It is all very, very unsettling. And then there's, of course, this yawning trapdoor in the ground.
Open another door.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to figure out. I believe that that door is where the trapdoor leads. You know?
This one here.
Yeah, the one in the... Yeah, I think that's supposed to be where the trapdoor will take you.
Oh.
There's
Okay.
a little crawl space that goes to a room next to this one.
I see. You actually are going to open the door.
Should we?
You're currently.
Prefer?
You look very green behind the gills, and you're slowed as long as you're sickened, if I remember correctly. So.
Oh, that is true. Well, I definitely would not mind a good night's rest.
Yeah, I
So
think
would I'm getting quite thin on spells.
Yeah, we are long overdue, and if Desna is willing, then if we take a night's rest now, we still might get here before the witchfire regenerates. If it takes the entire day.
Oh, that's a fair point.
Well, let us go then.
Yeah.
Okay. So you retrace your steps back through that corridor the way that you came. I mean, it goes further, but you're not exploring that part. You're going back through the denizen's lair and through the room with all the pillars and all the way back out and into town. All right, so let's take you to town. Figure out where we are. Okay, yeah. So you make it back into town in like early afternoon. Plenty of time to run any errands before getting some good rest.
I don't know if we have anything.
Yeah, I think if we're trying to get back before the witchfire reforms, we might just get the rest in, and then as soon as we're feeling up for it, head back. Unless you guys want to check in on the mayor's daughter.
Well, yeah, we probably should check on her, and although I think it's the rests are still have to be like a night's long or something. So I think we still should have at least some downtime here.
That's true.
Because I think they tried to like cap down on the 5 minute work day, or what has been called.
Greater. Cleanse affliction. 4th level cleanse affliction. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't know. I can't think of anything that like Lucca needs to buy in town or anything. At least nothing that like is going to be ready before we go back. So,
Anything else you want to do?
I would want to have the runes removed from that striking kukri.
Okay. And transfer it to
the staff.
Okay.
I'm willing to leave the staff behind because I hardly ever use it anyway. So, yeah, I'd leave the staff and the striking kukri at the smith.
I believe that takes 24 hours to rune transfer, regardless of power level. Transferring runes. I wonder if it is per rune, because you have 2 runes that you're trying to transfer.
Yeah.
Let's see if they can do that in one swoop. If an item can have 2 or more property runes, you decide which rune to swap and which to leave when transferring. If you attempt to transfer a rune to an item that can't blah blah blah. One rune from one item to another, or one whatever. What's both the fundamental? It takes 1 day to transfer a rune or swap a pair of runes, and you can continue to work over additional days to get a discount. Okay, yeah, so it would take 2 days to do both of them.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, can I ask you to keep track of that time?
Is that something I can add to the calendar?
Yeah, you just put a note on there.
Anything else anyone wants to do?
Nothing for Ottardo.
Yeah, well, Soma actually had a lot of plans what to do in town, because one thing that had been nagging her for quite a while is, well, it's about time she gets some new clothes. So because these ones are probably now ruined forever. So I will drop 1 silver piece for explorer's clothing.
So you're buying a new set of explorer's clothes? Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And she will have to spend some time to getting herself in order before well, coming back together. And since we are in town, I think I will raise the question about the swapping the dedication feat after the rest. So I was going to swap that spell trickster, which, well, now mostly useless, for the talisman doubler.
That was because of the remaster that it became useless?
Yeah, I mean, it's well, the summoning of what is it called, yeah, summon ensemble version of the summon instrument it probably still works, but the various options for discs for floating on the discs are or rendered mostly useless by the remastering of it into the carryall, because it allowed you to jump on it, and now I think you can just do it by upcasting it.
Oh, I see. Yeah, okay, swap it out.
Yeah, and that will give some options to make some disposable talismans.
Check this out. She's falling asleep with her head dug into my elbow. Just little dog. Okay, so should we skip to the next day, or is there anything else?
Works for me.
Yeah, can we assume that over time Ottardo can recover from his sickness?
From the second condition, yes.
Yeah.
Eventually you'll make your save. Okay, so we'll go to the next day. And you all awake, well rested. I just got a notification that Soma took the feat twice.
I've accidentally drawn it over this 4th level feat, and now it replaced it, and I don't remember what it was.
That's unfortunate.
I will look on the recording later.
Oh, yeah, good idea. All right. So you have breakfast, you get ready, deal your nerves, and then what? Head back?
Check on the daughter.
Yeah.
All right, so you stop by the mayor's manor, and when you get there, you already you're about to knock on the front door, and you already hear laughter from inside, like a child's laughter, but also the parents just elated, giggling, playful sounds. and you knock on the door, and then soon after, the mayor himself opens with a big smile on his face, and he says, "Oh, it's you! I was about to send for you today. It's the miracle. It's a miracle. Doriana, she's out of her room. She's herself again, and she says that that motley man is no longer bothering her. And then Doriana comes like running down the hallway, and she says, "Oh, Soma, it's you and your friends. I'm so glad to see you. I'm so sorry. I don't know what was with me. I just..." And all of them are clearly relieved.
Well, I guess it was worth to getting cursed for.
And then the mayor, as you say that, the mayor looks and he says, "Oh, you're right. Are you okay? Ottardo, is this contagious? This affliction of yours?"
Thankfully, no. It's just haven't found someone with the proper knowledge to take it off of us. But yeah, it won't jump onto anyone else.
But come inside. Come inside first. Soma, you have to elaborate on that then. And he ushers you in and invites you to the drawing room where he sits down, and Doriana also sits down. The completely different person, just full of life, bubbly, full of questions too. Has to, at some point, her father has to to like remind her that not to interrupt the grown-ups while they're talking, but he does it in a friendly way. And he says, "Okay, so but all of this aside, so now, Soma, what did you mean it was worth getting cursed for? Did you have anything to do with Doriana's miraculous recovery?"
Well, I suppose we explain him that. Well, after the after the investigation that we have conducted, we have concluded that her condition might have something to do with nefarious creatures back in the. It was Spire, no?
Nightmare realm of Lang.
Yeah. Yeah, and well,
I
eventually.
know you're right about this. I just assumed that whatever creature was preying on her had lost their interest.
Well, it's certainly lost a lot of things now, so hopefully it is a good sign that she is better. Yeah. By the way, and someone like remembers about you remember that toy she was clutching all the time. Can we take a look at it, please?
Her stuffed griffin, of course. Doriana, can you fetch Griffey? And she gets up. She's like,
Maybe
"Yeah."
have somebody else fetch it for her.
All right. Dear, would you be so kind? He says to his wife, and she walks off and says, "Yeah," clearly like confused what that stuffed toy could have to do with all of this. And she walks off, and she comes back, and she says, Here it is." And she hands it to you. It's strangely heavy, she notices as she hands it over to Soma. And she's right. It is weirdly heavy.
Well, we will inspect it thoroughly first, and before saying like, "Excuse me," turning away, and well, cutting it open a little bit.
Yeah, you like rip open the seam, which was completely untouched, but for some reason, somehow, you find inside the griffin, among the stuffing, a large ruby.
It does
Yep.
look just like the one he had on him.
Yeah, seems to be the right it is after all. Yeah, and
And the mayor is visibly confused. Says, "What's this, Doriana? Did you put that in?" The Doriana says, "No, I don't. I
yeah,
don't remember."
and I think we now can assure the mayor that with this thing out of his house, his daughter will be safe.
Well, I'm glad. I'm truly relieved, and you have no idea how much how much you've done for my family. I know that the town has much to thank you for already, but now I'm truly, personally, deeply in your debt. So let me please repay this as best as I can. Name anything you need from Absalom. Anything. And by anything, he means any 7th level item or lower.
Yeah,
Wow.
can we ask him to bring Arthur back?
He's 8
Uh,
level now. That doesn't work.
That's right. Yeah. No, but so you also gain 120 XP.
Whoa.
Yes. So let me add that to Augrael's sheet as well. So that should now be 766.
Yep.
If I'm not mistaken. All right. And you also get to keep the ruby, which did the one that Lucca that you picked up, did that also? Let me double check if that already gave you the right description.
It's only
Yeah,
it's
because
just the price.
right, the ruby that you found with the creature is just, it's a very odd but just regular ruby. But this one, as you'll learn, is actually now functioning like a 5th level wand of locate.
Ew.
Yeah. Let me double check that that's correct. That no longer returns to the area, becomes an unusually shaped wand of locate. Yep. So you can use that ruby like a wand of locate, 5th level.
A 5th level one, huh?
5th level locate spell. So I guess 5th
So it's
rank.
heightened.
Yeah. And like I said, you can choose any 7th level item or lower and have it delivered from Absalom. It will arrive within a week. And we can handle that offline. We don't need to make a decision right now. So yeah, so the mayor once again just showers you in thanks and praise and says, and I will make sure that everyone in town knows that you truly are the heroes of Otari, worthy of the Rose Guard's legacy. And then you take your leave.
Does that mean we get even more of a discount?
Oh, we'll find out, shall we?
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Very cool.
Anything else you want to do, or should we head back to the vault?
Well, with Soma's new feat now, I can craft temporary talismans. So for today, she will try making a couple of things that I've picked up ahead of time. One is she will keep to herself. It's this one, which is for administering first aid against bleeding and stabilizing. And the other she will call Sir Ottardo and slap it on his armor, which is this so-called Mortalis coin, which hopefully will keep him more alive.
Trade damage would cause you to become dying 2. You become dying 1 instead. And you die from the dying condition of dying 5 rather. That's nice.
Very nice. Oh, well, Soma, would you like to hold on to the Ling Ruby and make use of it, or shall I? It matters not to me.
Well, they say the diamonds are girls' best friends, but I can make friends with Ruby as well, I think.
Very well, then. I don't think Lucca has any special needs, so he's ready to head back.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. One of the final brush strokes I want to say that after getting almost immolated by cursed fire, Soma actually wanted to get a haircut. So if she previously had the top knot wearing, and now she actually cut her hair to shoulder length.
I just imagine her sitting in the barber shop on fire.
I tried to actually generate that picture. It was very hard.
Yeah, whoever's cutting her hair probably is like, is this safe to touch? Am I gonna get, like, is this just gonna
Oh,
get me too?
I hope that would be Melkis doing that.
Oh, is it?
He is a barber after all.
Is he really?
Well, so he claims.
That's right. He's probably cut weirder things than witchfire haircuts. All right, so and then we're making it back to the vaults, or is there anything else you guys want to do before we...
I think Soma is good for this one.
Yep.
And where in the vault should we go? Right where you left off, or any place else?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, it's we need to check upon the regenerations.
Okay. Yeah, so you make your way back to where you last fought that wisp, and as you pass through the room where the witchfire was, you see that there is a significant amount that has already, like, manifested, but it's still nowhere from being fully manifested. But as you walk by, you can hear just at the edge of your hearing, you hear these hoarse screams that are just like fairly, almost like they're very, very far away, but you do notice them. So there is a spooky quality that is already starting to manifest. But so far, you're not at risk here moving through this room, and you go back through the denizen's lair and through that hallway, or that secret hallway, into that unsettling room with the black walls and that open trapdoor and the crawl space below.
Let's see.
Just out of curiosity, is there anything else about the remains of the wisp besides its spongy body?
It has nothing on it. It has no earthly possessions, if that's what you're after. There's nothing that's
Just
seems-
sponginess.
just
Just a
spongy,
sponge.
weird, textured.
Mm.
Let's call it flesh. Okay. So Ottardo climbs down into the crawl space and, like, hunched over, he moves forward and then finds this little nook and opens another door to enter a tiny little chamber with a bowl of filthy swamp water resting upon what looks like a crude altar. Next to the bowl, there are a couple of odd-looking items. Hang on. That's sorry, that's coming up here. There we are. There is a kind of, it looks like a tooth that's hanging from a cord. A gemstone and a severed piece of flesh, it looks like. Actually 7 ears impaled on a nail.
What?
Lucca, I imagine, comes like clattering down the little chute after Ottardo, and he's like peering over his shoulder as best he can.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, 7 years. Let's see. I remember hold something. He pulls out his copy of the Whispering Reeds and scans through. 7 is a sacred number. It's a Nimblehoff.
And as you utter that name, Nimbleoth, all of a sudden your voice echoes strangely through this room and also up through the chute and in that room with the black walls. It just kind of bounces off the walls. Nimbleoff, Nimbleoff, Nimbleoff. Way longer than it should, just based on the acoustics.
This place. This. Muck, he says in the bowl, referring to the bowl. These offerings, these fetishes, I believe this is some sort of altar to.
So are you inspecting the bowl? Is that what you're saying? Because you call it muck.
Well, you said it had like swamp water in it, right?
Yeah, it does. But are you taking a closer look at that, or just like?
I mean, yeah, he'd be curious. He's kind of nudging past Ottardo to inspect things.
All right, boom. Wait, I need a will save.
Oh, okay.
So you nudge Ottardo onwards, like looking over his shoulder. You peek into that bowl, seeing to get a better sense of what is it in there. Yeah, it looks like swamp water, but what is it really? And then as you glimpse over the edge of the bowl, and once you can see the whole surface of the swampy water for a second there, Belcora's hateful visage glares back at you, and just like, Arr. She tilts her head, and she's really like taking in your features, and then whoosh, fades away. And that is such a shocking encounter that you take 22 points of mental damage, and you are stupefied for 1 minute. So we don't have to track that, but it really like shocks you.
So, I imagine you see Lucca like leaning in, inspecting everything, and then he looks at the bowl, and he seems really fascinated by this bowl of murky water for some reason, and kind of puts his hands to either side of it. He's staring down into it for a while, and then suddenly he just kind of goes, "Oh!" and collapses back, like literally his bones just collapsing in a pile on the floor. And the mask he wears kind of like tumbles to the side for a second, and then after a few moments, the light kind of flickers in his eye sockets again. He pulls himself together, and still kind of lying in a pile on the floor. He's like, "It was her. She's here."
And as you say that, you hear her voice in your head. It's like fading away, as if she's moving away into the distance, but you can still hear the words. And she says, "I know why you're here." And that's where we're end the session today.